Hey, welcome back to Clean Cut, where we can talk about the truth about just about anything, as long as we use logic and common sense.
This season, we're looking at the Church's calendar and the various seasons in it. Last time, we looked at Septuagesima. Today, the season of Lent. Lent is a period of regular fasting and sacrifice to commemorate the 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert, fasting before beginning his ministry. Catholics are expected to, at minimum, give up meat on Fridays during Lent and fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. This fasting, in the modern custom, consists of not eating meat and eating only one full meal, as well as two smaller meals, which together aren't equal to a full meal. Also no snacks. However, that's a meager sacrifice compared to what it was at some periods in church history, so some Catholics do more severe fasting than that. We also perform a voluntary sacrifice during Lent, in which we give up something that's hard for us to give up during that time, or do some good thing that's hard for us to do. Now, Lent itself is actually longer than 40 days. In the current liturgical calendar, Lent lasts for almost 44 days, and in the older traditional calendar, it lasted for almost 46. This is because the Sundays, being feast days of the Church, don't really count as part of the time of fasting. So in the older calendar, the 46 days minus the 6 Sundays that take place during Lent equals 40 days, or almost 40 days, but we'll get to that. Lent begins on Ash Wednesday, no matter which calendar you're using, but it ends on a different day depending on whether you're following the traditional calendar or the modern liturgical calendar. In the traditional calendar, Lent ended partway through the Saturday before Easter. Easter, like Christmas, begins with the first Mass for the holiday, and that takes place in the afternoon or evening of the day before, so even in the traditional calendar, one of those 40 days of Lent isn't a complete 24-hour period. However, Lent lasts an even shorter time in the modern liturgical calendar, ending during the evening of Holy Thursday, the Thursday before Easter Sunday. It's 3 days shorter than it was in the older calendar. This is because the modern calendar adds another short season of the Church year between Lent and Easter called the Triduum, which we'll discuss next time. This is a bit odd since Lent ends during Holy Thursday, and yet Good Friday, the very next day, is also a time of Lent-like fasting. So Lent ends midway through Thursday for a few hours of non-Lent, then the fasting continues through Good Friday. What about the voluntary Lenten sacrifice? When does that end? Well, that's another matter. After all, voluntary Lenten sacrifices are voluntary, and therefore you could continue them for as long as you choose to, or discontinue them whenever you wish. They're meant to be a means to practice self-discipline by deliberately choosing to avoid something that you'd rather not avoid, or deliberately engaging in some good activity that's difficult for you. And you can make these kinds of voluntary sacrifices at any point in the year, not just during Lent. The Church recommends Lent as a good season to engage in sacrifices like that, but there's no hard rule about when the Lenten sacrifice has to begin or end. So, Lent starts with Ash Wednesday and ends with the evening of either Holy Thursday or Holy Saturday, depending on which calendar is being used. Next time, what is the Triduum?
That's all for now, so keep asking questions, and thanks for watching.